A happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to the Steel Twins. A happy birthday to you. Live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan. It's your boys, the Cannonball and the Cannon. Happy Wednesday, everybody! Yay! And we got a little something to tell you. They say it's our birthday.
Yep.
Let's. Yeah. All right. So just to make sure that we lasted just long enough so that we didn't get hit by the copyright hitters. That is right, dudes. It is our birthday. So, yeah, we have made another trip around the sun. We are 39 years old, and I don't feel any older. As you can see with the ridiculous party hats and the stupid blow-throughs, the blowers, whatever they call them. We are still children at heart. So, yep. I hope that's a good thing.
I think so. I think it's a good thing.
And folks, the case that we have on store for you tonight, the one we're going to start, it might start a little slowly. We might not get through much on this particular episode, but by the end, I believe that you are going to be asking the same question that we will, which is, what the heck is going on here? So what could possibly prompt that response? What? Tune in and find out.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, package, do me a quick favor.
Yeah.
There is a bottle, but right directly behind me. Uh-huh. It's a rather large bottle. There it is, buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
So, we're gonna have. So we have a couple of souvenirs from our time in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Big Shots,
yes,
on 2nd Avenue in downtown. I mean, a bunch of other places too. But they had these shot glasses for us, courtesy of Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine. So, they say it's your birthday.
My string from my party hat broke, but that doesn't even matter.
Who cares?
Who cares if it falls off or not?
It's funny. It's funnier if it does.
Yeah.
So I'll put this down. I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to put the cap back on. You put that stuff back over there on the table.
Yeah. There we go.
And if you have a shot in your hand, feel free to join us. Cheers. Cheers to 39.
To 39. Cheers, mate. I feel like I got fire breathing through my nose right now.
You didn't do it right.
Crap.
Oh, he's putting the hat down. Yes. He's mad, folks. He's big mad. So anyway,
right. Well, I ain't mad. Just disappointed.
Oh, come on. Nobody gets disappointed on their birthday. Anyway, so also, we're bringing out the rainstorm again, so get your raincoats on. And if you have a top to your drink or a cap to your bottle, go ahead and pull that pin back. Hey, package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. You might be able to put that thing back on your head just as long as you don't move.
Right.
Give it a shot.
I'm probably going to be moving a lot, though.
Okay. Well, if I move and my party hat falls off, then it falls off.
Yeah, of course.
I hope that the beginning was memorable enough for you guys.
I hope so too.
So, why don't we, let me just double check, make sure to see if anybody has quoted. We are not on Trovo tonight, as I mentioned before, because I can't get the dang thing to work on my stream. I don't know why, but it's okay. We got all the other 3 channels, so we're going to go live as live and can be.
Yep. And living color.
I think that fireball's already working on my speech. It's time, kids. All right. Wow. It's good to be back.
Yep, good to be back. Long road trip to Tennessee.
Okay, 16 minutes. The new recording has been completed. Oh no, that was our voice checks.
Yeah, voice
Never
checks.
mind.
Derp.
Don't quit scaring me like that. Okay, Ace Attorney Chronicles. Yeah. So we reload our game. So here we go. This is the case. And the ones after these obviously are even bigger than this. But we're so excited to bring you the return of the great departed soul.
Buckle up, boneheads, because we're going for a ride.
Maddie!
Thank you so much for liking the stream.
Thank you so much. Happiest of birthdays to you both. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Maddie. It means the world. And thank you so much, everyone on Facebook land, for the birthday wishes.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! There's too many of them.
Yeah.
If we try to get through all of them, it's gonna take us way too long.
Absolutely.
All right. Return of the great departed soul in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Good news. The check cleared. All right. Take it away. What the hell is that big ass thing? Hoy.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Why the heck is it smoking?
Smoking?
Uh-oh. Well, you know what they say. Whenever there's smoke.
Take it away, boys.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Look at the size of
The
this.
weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Hurry!
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world.
Why is the Kremlin in the background?
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car.
What?
Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
Well, that's true, but that was very short-lived. Hindenburg.
Today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
What? You lost me there, pal.
Yeah.
It's a giant-ass thing, though.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location, whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Really? Oh, boy. Huh. How much money did this guy get paid?
Hell, I don't know.
Jesus. Okay.
In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
Uh-oh.
This one. Yes. Woo!
Wow, that's a lot of levers.
Yup.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Ooh.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Wow, did his balls drop yet? Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Please! Oh, that's not what I wanted!
Uh-oh. What the hell?
Boy, oh boy.
Yikes.
22nd of October, 9:36 a.m. Shom Suite. One more, please.
Runo? Runo, are you listening?
Oh! Sorry, what was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
Today's paper. It's full of news about the great exhibition again.
Ah, yes. The Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down. Jesus,
Give him a Percocet.
Sorry.
Wow! Well, when did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here. You know? Because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much that I didn't notice your presence.
So much so.
I think... I missed it. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced... Clearly, it can be deduced, therefore, that, let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now
6 months?
since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Did you say something, Iris?
Didn't you just say that?
Back to moping. He's probably bored out of his skin.
Yep.
What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know. And the Grand Exhibition has opened. You think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we all go to see it together?
I want to. Of course I do. But I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from. Is that it?
I don't remember hearing that's your regular case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Well, all right, well, let's talk to him.
Yep.
Event 6 months ago. Okay, story time, kids. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery
Yep.
turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government.
Oh, yeah.
During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. McGilded.
Yeah.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Ah, boy. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all of those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes' old cases.
Brewing Irish's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically, Lord Strongheart, the British Supreme Court on Whitehall.
Lord Strongheart?
Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could, and I can't do that just sitting around here.
Great exhibition.
Great exhibition. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art, and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Oh, do you know what I like to do? I like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
Look down on? Do you mean those things fly?
Yes, of course. You fly high in the sky and don't even need things to do it. All you need is hot air.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. And in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
I suppose they might be. Well, to some people, they're not.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here. Every page of this paper can carry some article or other about the Great Exhibition. The brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record.
Newspaper, okay,
crap.
that's fine.
Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Okay, let's take a look at it. A newspaper containing various articles about the world-leading science and technology on show at the Great Exhibition being held in London.
Yeah, you can examine it.
Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments that demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go see it properly before too long. Alright. First test of matter transport device. Oh, look at this. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What in the...
So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait. What?
What's the matter, Runo?
The Reaper attacked! That's Lord Van Zeeks! This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about! Does he know any more, I wonder?
Wait,
Lord
what?
Van Zeeks and compatriot cornered.
Was Sholmes even talking about it?
I mean, maybe that's why he was gloomy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did.
Your gloomy mood.
Okay. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Miss Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood.
Ah,
Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction. Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes. Prosecutor Beric Van Zeeks. This motherfucker.
Yep.
They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Miss Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness! Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in the article here, it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition.
Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow! In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps. There's another reason to go see the big guy. Ah. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind. But now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Whew. And there he goes. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Oh.
Alright then, Runo. Let's get going.
Oh. Iris, what are you wearing?
I've got changed to go to the great exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Huh. That sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you?
Of course. Then after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the great exhibition.
Alright, well, I think there's only one thing left to do here, package. Hang on a second. No. the Lord Chief Justice's office. Da-da-da-da-da! Charge! Feels good to say that.
Yes. Here we are.
Oof. Man, look at the birds.
Yep.
They never get...
22nd of October. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice's office.
Been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change. Like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Sasato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. Kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding new technologies, dealing with petty crime, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I could very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Runo, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Alright, let's talk to this guy. Permission to work. Let's get it going. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened. But the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Ugh, here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Huh? Well, that's true. Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Oh boy, I miss him.
Me
Jeez.
too. Me too.
Mr. Sogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense.
What mission?
Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain.
Well, that's good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful news, Runo.
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course. Please, tell me more. Let's take a look at this curious affair. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Huh? Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the fingers?
That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care.
Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Asman, an investor and a well-known figure in society. Large explosion?
A man died?
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. Great exhibition. Scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder? I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still.
We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think?
Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, Lord Van Zeeks? How? All right, well, I'm gonna present something real quick. I'm gonna present this article. Oh, wait, hang on. I have to present the article. Oops. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? James Walter, my good buddy. Thanks for liking the stream, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for sharing the stream.
Yep, happy birthday. And Jenny, too. Oh, I just missed those two. That's good. I didn't take forever.
Yeah. Thanks, James. Thanks, Jenny. Countless others.
And no other comments. All right, there we go. What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Oh, Mr. Reaper, what happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Alright, let's go to Van Zieks' condition. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. It was a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. What? Did you say Asman?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable! I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who managed to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside of the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. That doesn't make sense! How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer, so he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Alright. Well, what about this forensic science symposium?
Yeah, why not?
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! That's gonna happen a couple more times. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what is known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing! Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming! If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures, and I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail every one now. What?
fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was I was a young man back then. I hadn't made my way to the Lord Chief Justice's office yet. There's so many people in the aristocracy that blocked my way, and and that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. Sure, it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes! Where would I find Lord Van Zeeks now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord.
I think you should visit prison first. What do you think?
Well, what does the story tell us?
Well, let's see.
A new location has been added.
Prosecutor's office.
Looks like we're visiting our old friend the Reaper.
That's right. You can get off the story now.
Oh. Happy birthday. Hey, Todd Gilbert is commenting.
Thank you so much for tuning into the stream, boys.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love you, buddy.
Okay. 22nd of October, prosecutor's office.
Ooh! So this is the legendary Reaper's office?
Yes, it appears so.
It sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that...
What?
Who the hell is that guy? That hooded figure was so still, I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is.
What are you doing here?
Ah! He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well.
I am.
So, who's the person over by the wall being punished by something or other?
For something or other. No punishment is taking place here.
Oh,
That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will.
I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper.
He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage.
Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers?
The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself, assuming that is such a fabled fiend generally inhabits our great courtrooms.
What's he holding that badge for, I wonder?
Well, let's
Talk to him. Last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack.
True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmund's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened.
Odie Asman.
He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
Love you too, bro. Love you too, Todd.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was the most unusual cause of death.
I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous. I know about that. There was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion.
Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you?
Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the fabled Reaper, and he has to be innocent of this particular death at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh, yes, that's right. I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
Albert Hairbrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance?
Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're...
What?
Your contemporary? I'd understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though.
Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all.
So you were students together?
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him.
If I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
Then why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord Van Seek's thinking? Alright, Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
Or was Ginny? In fact, she's ever so hard working now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you. Things have taken a turn, but the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind, It's not my work.
Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
Because they're idiots.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh,
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
do you mean to say...
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose...
Pseudonym.
Thanks. I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide.
Oh, there he goes holding his badge again. Lord Van Zeeks. All right, hang on. we got to examine a couple things first.
Yep.
We got to do this. Okay. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there.
My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes in the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes.
Oh,
Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile.
so it's my fault. Silly me. How could I ever have thought otherwise? Okay, let's get a look at this. Look at this. This is a very elaborate set.
Wow.
Woo! Look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground.
That's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person.
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket.
Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid. You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
Ugh, I really didn't think he'd overhear that. Okay, who's this guy?
What? Oh.
And get a look at the thing on his chest.
Wow. Could it be?
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? It's a very majestic outfit and pose. Sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeeks' facial features.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated the subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
Oh, Vane, that's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
Oh, then who is it?
Oh, we'll find out later, folks.
He was very reserved about that. What are these on the walls? Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets?
You don't think all those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them, dead, do you?
What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Runo and I were just muting to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot.
Right, who is this guy? Who? It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before.
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead?
If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead!
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Well, what's our story going to tell us now?
Well, I think I might have to present something.
This is all the article, of course.
Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper.
Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. He was careless of me.
It looks as though it was taken out to people who attacked you and ran away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Alright, we get to talk about his apprentice.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor, so you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Huh. Like you are to Harry then, Runo.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask.
On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity.
I wonder why. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions.
I hope you're right. Up. He's stood up.
What? Oh.
Don't. Yeah, he didn't say anything.
The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Nods his head. Doesn't say anything. Nice to meet you. And he's sitting back down. Back to work again. It was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
What?
What?
All right.
Wait a minute. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, I see.
Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway?
Oh, no. I mean, sorry. I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be.
Mm-mm.
Did he seriously get a flash? What?
What?
Uh-oh.
Wait
Anyway.
Wait a minute. What?
Hold on. No clues.
Oh, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man. Is he faring well?
Sorry?
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters.
Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him for this, Runo.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that,
Or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turnout for the books.
A mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, might be worth quizzing the professor about this relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think.
Yep. Well, I guess now it's time to go to the prison,
what-
don't you think?
Yeah, well, what does the story tell us?
Let's see.
Charge!
Has anybody else chatted?
No, I don't think so.
22nd of October, local prison, cell 11.
Well, let me run the gamut here. So, yeah, okay, nobody.
All
right, let us continue.
Yes.
The warden said cell 11. That's the one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
Okay, here we go. I don't know how I'm going to pull this voice off. What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain? Huh? Who are you? I'm Ryunoske Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. Lawyer? Ah! Was it something I said? Lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success! By anyone's calculations! But despite that, no one listens! No lawyer believes in the science! When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity! Is that okay?
Okay. I'm okay with it.
Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Alright, well, let's talk to him. Yesterday's demonstration. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asmund was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my... At that point, it should have been the... Okay. At that point, it should have been... Oh, instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asmund, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asmund was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That's the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see.
Harry and I were talking this morning, you know. They said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
Oh, how exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective
Custody. On what grounds? Oh, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Science Equipment Act. That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder, I can't press any friggin' buttons.
You see, a machine is a murder weapon. They'll be able to pour over as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My president's hypothesis will be stolen. That machine must be protected at all costs. That's why it's imperative it's shown to an accident tomorrow. Ah, I see now. Okay, well, shit. All right. All right, why the heck did it automatically go through then?
Maybe it's due to the speed and the.
Maybe. Shit. I mean, I can hold on to it though. All right, hold on. All right. Let's hopefully. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. And now it's pausing. Holy shit. Yes, or rather no. The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating.
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days?
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk.
My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops! That's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried about by the look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it. Yes.
Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Assman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? All right, hold on. I'm going to try this first one again, all right? I wonder if it's okay, if it screws up again, we're going to try our best. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Assman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded, and Mr. Assman, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is, the large explosion that killed Mr. Assman was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see.
Ernie and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine will be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds? Ah, yes. It's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder,
Then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. All right, well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Yep, holy smokes. I don't know what the heck happened first. All right, it's twin night and the price is right.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Oh, I wonder if there's a special episode going on.
There probably is, but we'll have to probably
Check it out some other... Okay. The Reaper's varsity years. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barrick Van Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university?
talk about a leading question, Runo.
As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling? Huh? It's a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learnt what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Ah! I'm sorry. And I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. He's heard all about the Reaper. I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow.
Oh boy. Well,
Okay. The victim. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in a laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research? I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life? Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Yeah, so he's definitely innocent.
Yep.
Definitely innocent.
Gotta prove him.
So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in all this. Still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that. All my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Runo, it's time. Time to visit the great exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Charge!
Your location at? It's the experimentation stage.
Okay, I'm going to try to see if I can turn story mode off.
Yeah, you did.
And I hope to goodness that it sticks. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition. The Great Exhibition grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Couple of things I noticed right away. Number 1, what's that cloth doing on the ground? Number 2, what's that rope over there? Number 3, what the hell is that crossbow doing over there?
Uh-oh.
Ugh. Showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. I've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been drawn on 3 times, too.
Careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Okay, I don't know if it's Gregson or Gina, but we'll find out in a second. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Uh-oh.
Wait! They've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices.
You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in ourselves will teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat...
I can't believe it.
Yoo-hoo! Rexy! What are you doing out there?
It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! Your ladyship! Oh, your ladyship! I do hope you're well, your ladyship!
Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wants to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable! I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you.
Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be.
Watch it, sunshine.
Sorry.
What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
They were here to investigate.
Dear me. That's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is!
You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, eh, Otto? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
That ain't no way I talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely.
Inspector Parrot isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. This getting is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright?
Right, sir.
And up he goes.
This raises a lot of questions.
I enjoyed that last part, by the way.
That was great.
Let's talk to her.
All right, talk to her. About Gina. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realised I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Jimmy. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, ain't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised it, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet.
So anyway, that's how I... Okay. So anyway, that's how I...
Now,
Okay, one more. So, anyway, that's how come I had to go at...
okay, I'm gonna read. Don't change it yet. So anyway, that's how I come.
That's how come I
had a go at the test for Scotland Yard. Let's try it. Okay, from the top.
So anyway, that's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem. Nothing serious.
And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her a sort of apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave, yep.
Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
A great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and short of it is, you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Ooh, what, Runo? What?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Oh, you don't half worry, Otto.
If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. And I ain't really done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsumi in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper's more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine.
Yesterday's incident.
Oh, it's how this world it was. Brainy bloke put a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. And it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny, with your own eyes?
Yeah, of course. Boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of the flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above.
No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too.
Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all.
Then it's settled. When do I start?
Oh, no, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success?
Right. Well, it was a success. In a way.
It was? How can it have been? Successful experiment? What the hell are you talking about? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success.
Like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the Crystal Tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, with all the glasses broken, you mean?
Yeah, the cage what the victim got... Okay. The cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it!
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Well, I'll tell you what. You can have this. The plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Sketch of the experiment has been entered into the court record.
A diagram showing the relative positions of the Crystal Tower and Professor Harebrain's machine that exploded.
Alright, about the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange.
For it's worth anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself.
Yeah, right. That. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
I thought I could have a gain on the quiet, though. The boss caught me at it. You probably heard him give me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? Not bleeding fair.
I think you were giving him just as much of an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Otto. Go on, see if you can get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is.
You can try, can't you, Runo? Gregsy will listen to us.
Hold that thought for a second. I think we may have a message or two.
All right, well, let's take a look. And we don't look. We only have any new messages on the stream.
Check out the pic of you guys have put on Facebook, Dad said.
Oh, let's take a look.
Yeah,
I bet you it's a tiny one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
back at the ranch, I might have to look for Dad's. You know what? Tell you what. You're the one investigating.
Wait, hold on a second.
Did you find it?
look at this. This is a picture of our old stuff, when we were kids.
I wish we could show it to you. I'll tell you what. That's adorable. So okay, well, we found that. So then let's take a quick look at all this stuff. What the hell is this?
Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth?
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable. Kind of like something else in this room.
It's canvas, I think. Some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
The piece of green cloth has been entered into the court
A
record.
torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. There are scorch marks at the edges.
Oh boy. Let's look at this. What's this? For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look! Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid if a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo.
Well, what the hell is that thing?
Ah! Looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here.
Dropped? Or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Maybe. Could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Mysterious contraption has been entered into the court record.
Very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. Almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately.
Bro, it looks like a crossbow, man.
Yeah?
What the hell is that doing there? Now let's look up. Oh, hang on. Look at this. That's where the convent...
That's where the carve ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success.
What's the wooden scaffold there for?
The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get a body down, I think. Dunno, really.
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that. He'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Okay, okay. The Crystal Tower. Certainly an apt name. It's both be the focal point of the exhibition. It definitely is, being so tall with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There's that
Word again, erect.
Ugh, God. I'm sorry.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go down and let's see if we can, let's click on this sign. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. Soon, you'll have to be in London a year, Runo. It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yes, well, this thing is so tall the spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, and he'd be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here.
Alright, where does the story want us now?
Oh. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted.
Here we go. 22nd of October. The Great Exhibition Grounds. Experimentation stage.
So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up.
Woo! Must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share.
You've seen this? You've seen things like this before? You mean?
Of course. Alice always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning frequently comes up wafting up the stairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Okay, let's talk. Let's see if we can. Okay, let me see if we can look at some of this stuff. We'll probably get our butts kicked. Let's take a look at this. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know?
Speak for yourself. A child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, I think you went to the...
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy.
Please, your ladyship. Didn't mean to stare to you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
Oh, sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Wonderful. That stuff really is wonderful.
Just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene.
Huh! Listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty.
Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too.
More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh?
Surely that's all right, isn't it, Gregsy?
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Let's talk to him real quick. Government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. An extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public.
True. It's by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean.
Government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. I'm not worried about being ahead of the game than the hotspot of public safety infringements. They can be first to develop some new technology. Makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see.
Yes, I suppose that's true in a way.
So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
Making it so that any theories of brains have remained their legal property, as it were. Right to developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us couples aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. There's no high voltage special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it.
I see now.
The only people with permission to investigate here is from some brand new department at the yard. The forensic investigation team is called. Been relegated to keeping guard.
The forensic investigation team.
Any old folk can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. Just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Gregsy. He's very head up, isn't he?
Special dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here?
You haven't me at it, Sunshine. It's a special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes. I think Hurley mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eye, as I remember.
I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some seats in the civil service. And I think it's rubber stamped. It's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality.
What does that really mean?
Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me. Put forward by shammers like yourself.
Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
It'd be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say.
I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shamus bogus contraptions.
But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point.
Yeah, well, there's a point, sadly.
Sorry?
Thanks to all of our government's bright ideas. Any theory or invention is deemed to show potential. The government hands out a research grant.
The scientists get funding?
Exactly. That's what they're all after. All these shamus coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it!
Maybe I can see a point.
Professor
Hairbrain. Apparently, Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research.
Sweet. Came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants.
Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks.
Eh? What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zeeks demands the prosecution, then as they accuse the professor's fetus.
Sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another.
Baby, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zeeks, this modest paper on the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long is that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
The mystery of the Reaper.
Oh, it's gonna get deep.
The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Assman, he was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord
Barack Van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win.
Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it?
Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters in his own hands, we failed to seal the deal in court.
Although the man himself denies that charge.
Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would.
But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them.
I know that, but can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper.
Professor Hairbrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind.
What?
He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. You have any idea what it was?
No clue.
Really?
Look, you got my hands full watching all this frustrated crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Well,
alright. Is there anything else? Well, we're gonna look at something apparently. I'm gonna try to look at the stage. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think.
Touch anything, and I'll make sure I kill you before I get stung up myself, you hear?
I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
Yes, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, sunshine. We were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal. Maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly! The annoying obstructive flaming rules.
Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind packaged in the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
It is? Oh yes, you're right.
What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said! Touch anything, and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said!
Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit.
Sorry about that.
No apologies.
But Grexy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really, very, very curious.
What's your ladyship? You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Runo found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly.
He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Poor Gregsy. It was a screwdriver, though.
Right, you done here, Mr. Naruhodo?
Sorry?
Isn't it about time you're leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot are here now.
That lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute too.
Oh dear. Poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
Right.
I'll take your plug too.
That hit the spot. Yup, hits it every time.
Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigations here, at least.
I've been thinking. Andy might know something, mightn't he?
About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
Huh? About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tusples. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it. It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We can go now if you like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes,
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me. He told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo.
Madame Tusples. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here. But then, stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Well, I guess I know where we're going next. Say it with us, everybody. Charge!
Wow, it's
Okay.
almost 2 hours already.
Yeah, who gets Madame Tusples?
I do.
Okay.
I get 22nd of October, Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks.
Whoa! Oh! No! What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all the people so still? Guillotines?
Guillotines.
Guillotines? Ruthless murderers? I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Runo? Shocked?
Wax models? Huh? Ah! I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called
Adipocere.
adipocere.
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyway, adipocere doesn't form readily, you know. It's only
Ah!
What now?
I've just remembered something else I read. In another magazine about strange phenomena. It was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh,
There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes.
What's he?
Huh?
What's he doing there?
Wait.
what is it?
Oh, no. I must be seeing things. What the hell is that thing? What the hell is that thing? Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you?
Runo, stop scaring me.
Is it a wax arm? Or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! Alright, we gotta talk to Mr. Sholmes. What the hell is he doing here? It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. Look, Runo, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
You can't go around kicking the exhibits, right? Wait. It just moved. I'm sure. And not just a little bit either.
Really? Did it?
Look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look. There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
Held it! My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it! Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick, could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me!
But Runo has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you told me we'd be getting bored too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success had been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
He could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck, I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, Well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. For now, I must return to my work. Hup! What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? For God's sake, let's talk to him.
Madam Tuspels.
What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan, too. But these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine.
Hold on a second.
Ugh, that sounds grim. What? What?
You see anything new in the chat?
No. I mean, yeah. Nope. Must have been your imagination, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you checked.
Continue.
The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors will make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
That really turns my stomach. Ugh. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows, so they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he?
What about temporary waxwork?
Okay. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. Ha! I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I hone in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider.
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Miss Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murders and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Miss Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Okay, I'm here to something to ask you. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learnt. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person.
I was sure that you know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable.
Greetings.
Oh, okay.
It's gotta be her. Greetings.
Oh! Hello. Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious?
I hope you're appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again!
My apologies. I am Esmeralda the Spells. This is my museum of waxwork.
What? You? You're the Madame Tuspels?
Bien sûr. They're only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madame in name only. It adds certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toilet trouble.
Ah! Hep.
He sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before about something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't we got enough on our plate already?
Do I smell a deduction in the corner?
Well, let's talk to her first, but I'm no... something's coming. I can feel it. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels?
I did. And this is a generation of waxwork at the Sentinel.
Gosh.
It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were secured, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. So that is when she acquires this savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelessness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley.
What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks are created in the presence of the real people in which they are modeled, in the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to their extraordinary lifelessness.
That sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
sorry. Perhaps I should have eased you into things.
Well, great detective waxwork. What's the situation with that?
My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago. You see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these past exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Oh, what's that effect?
She's gonna say that a couple more times too.
Actually, I'm well aware that Mr. Jones is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Oui, le crème de la crème. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
What was to that effect?
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has sought the funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning.
What words to that effect?
It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. You must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well?
Something afoot.
Something's afoot. I wonder, can I ask you something?
Bien sûr.
I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever else suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was... your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He's disappeared! A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! There you are!
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? She was to be melted down?
My dear Madame Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead.
Huh.
Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Forever not.
She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I prefer, no, I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Très bien. Let's see if the good detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Here we go. Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is his special exhibit. There's an extra chance to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. There's nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madame. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens.
Oui, très bien. Je vais draw back the curtains, but only a second.
Only a little bit, it sounds like. I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tuspel's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however... What the hell? Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
That's juror number 1 from the omnibus case.
Jesus, what's he doing there? Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my 2 conclusions.
Here we go.
The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Pourquoi? Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Ah! She looks as pale as candle wax.
Don't understand. Je ne me comprends.
So, Madame Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we go. It's time for the Great Deduction. The game is afoot. I love this shit.
Topic 1. Waxworks fate.
Yeah, we're going to be here in a minute.
Yep.
To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice.
I don't know about that.
Waxwork for sale, your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200.
No!
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200.
I don't know about that shit.
It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extraordinary amount he was paying. The money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Number 1, yep. Conclusion. Sold for cash. Or is it? Topic 2. Waxwork location.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands. Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly...
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
I don't know about that shit.
Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at this year's policing awards.
But... me...
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
Me too.
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price
I
tag.
don't know about that shit.
Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
Je ne...
Yes, the waxwork you've sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Discovered already. Or is it?
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. And... I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cords looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. The notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Otomo. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Otomo.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages if that puts things into perspective. So, it is quite a lot then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down?
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right, to make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
It's now time for course correction.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Remix.
Remix.
Wait, Waxwork's fate. Is it sold for cash? No.
Let's find out. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is only a money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice.
I don't know about that public notice.
She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of the waxworks, even for £200.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. It sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that curative glance again, see if there's anything else that could explain it.
Well, let's take a look. I mean, there's a public notice
Well,
here.
keep rotating.
What the hell is this?
There's a note on the wall.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room.
Prisoner?
Prisoner, the price for his safe return is 200 pounds.
Huh?
Have the money ready by noon on the 23rd of October.
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. Ransom note.
Well, hit her with it.
Take that! The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
This model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds.
No, not the 200 pounds.
So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We can just ask him when he comes round.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Heard he strike so hard we wasn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tuspels trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around.
Look around. Look at the gaze. Pay attention to the gaze.
So she's looking to the right. What the hell is that?
What? Hand of Mad? What?
No, I don't think that's her hand.
This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, is it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is the left hand as well. Look!
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Waxwork hand. Hit her with it.
Not literally.
Yeah, not literally, but yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that it, in fact, is a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Some of the visitors in my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Oui, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. At a point we may need to revisit later. but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. Oh boy.
Not sold for cash, kidnapped.
Yikes, with an exclamation point, no less.
Next. Has it been discovered already? Who knows? Let's dig deep.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands. Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly...
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
Oh, not that.
According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
Way of communicating with his colleagues and revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets isn't any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Dispel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Let's see.
Let's see. Not the neckerchief.
Look at this. It's a shoulder stub.
What?
What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Well, that settles that then.
Right. This isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course. That ties in with what we just found out.
Well,
take that.
This is good shit.
I love it. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth, of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I see we had to make a model as the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
Me too.
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag.
Or is it that yellow chiff over there?
Killer policeman. Called Armor, was it? Was he well known?
He was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price though. Threepence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps you should have a good look around again and see if another idea coops up.
Well, let's take a look.
It's that other Twitch?
Look at this. Look at this. Do Waxworks models move? Look at this. The old man's tapping his foot like crazy.
He seems to be fast asleep though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously then. So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that. The point is Waxworks don't tap their feet.
Or twitch.
And look at his arm too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we?
Take that!
Take that.
Twitch.
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspels?
The quoi? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He is clearly...
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Bien sûr. But because, you know, there have been such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrived at the truth.
Who's who?
The waxwork of the...
You're Ryunoske.
The
Waxwork of the especially ruthless killer. Altogether.
The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Oh boy, it's missing.
Discover. Nope. Still a mystery.
Well, I'll be damned.
Deduction complete.
Elementary. Just so much fun.
Elementary indeed.
All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short term on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Oui, tragically it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork, in as much detail as possible, if you please. S'il vous plaît.
Très bien. But after I've told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel. But as you wish. Alright, I guess we're going to talk to her some more. The stolen waxwork. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from this special exhibit here.
It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the other note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose.
Get ready, kids.
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer, who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say, the professor.
And our buddy Chris Lamson just jumped in.
Hey, happy birthday. My brothers wanted to swing by before I headed to work. Miss you guys. Miss you too, Chris.
Miss you too, buddy.
And thanks for the birthday wish, brother.
So, the professor. Whoa. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it?
That's gonna be important. Indeed, it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Barak von Zeeks graduated from university, in fact.
What?
What? Is it time to do it yet?
I don't think so.
Surely he's not saying...
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
As you've surmised, it was the professor case. Who was this professor, then?
The professor.
Yeah, here we go.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all London grits and terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zeeks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy, members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Wait! Of course! What Professor Harebrain said! Lord Van Zeeks is from a family with noble blood!
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zeeks.
What?
That shocked me so much my hat fell off.
What?
Oh my God! No! I don't believe it! Van Zeeks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his elder brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic past. Oh, brother, it gets worse from here. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. Hup! As a waxwork exhibit.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I think we're just about ready to wrap up this part. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you... Oh, okay, wait a minute.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if this is... No, this might be Harebrain. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Yeah, that is Harebrain. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
Tomorrow, the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. Some accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Eric, are you really...
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Barrick.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
But what the heck is he talking about?
Oh boy.
And then the three worst words in the English language, to be continued.
Yeah.
That was an investigation, folks. That was almost 3 hours.
Wow. Well, we gotta get out of here.
We got to scoot. So here's to another trip around the sun.
That's right.
And now please join us next week right here on the Steel Brothers Gaming channel for the trial in the return of the great departed soul. So, I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I'm the package Andrew Steele,
We are the Steel Brothers.
and we are for real.
We are the Steel Brothers. We're 39 years old.
And we are for real. Top guys.